is time. It is time to brew your best beer.
The 2016 SJPorr Challenge is dedicated to your friend and ours, Paul Wickstein. Brought to you by Brewcraft USA, iMake, Gladfield Malting, Yakima Valley Hops, The Grain Bill, Brewers Exchange, Keg Kingdom Homebrew Supply, Hiraki Homebrew, and a special thanks to our silver sponsor.
Here we go. Number 3 for the evening. Needing to get through these at the last minute, but good thing these are sessionable. No worries on the clouding of the perceptors. This is an ultra light milk stout. This is 28V-74L-58Z, 4.2% alcohol. The description, it says, is chocolate roast, lightly nutty with a touch of bitterness on the finish. So we have an ultra light milk stout. Fill this puppy all the way to the top. I like it. Here we go. Really nice color. Looks like it's gonna pour pretty dark. Decent carb on it. Let's be a little careful. Put that right there. So, I love the color of the head on this beer. It's like a dark khaki. You can tell it's got like meat on its bones. I like it. Kind of a mix of tighter small bubbles and a few larger bubbles mixed in. It's got kind of a fluffy head near the top. I can't really tell if we got many bubbles streaming up through the glass. It's very, very dark. It's not quite pitch black, but it's very, very dark. You can barely see some like ruby tones along the edges of the glass, and you can tell it's really clear, even despite it being so dark. When you get those ruby tones, you can almost see straight through it. So, looks like a really clear beer. It's beautiful to look at. I mean, very dark. I love the color of the head. Let's get a nose. Get some roastiness right off the bat, which is no surprise. I do get a little bit of nuttiness on the nose, like just like a hint of a nuttiness, almost maybe almond, maybe. Touch of sweetness off the nose, along with the roast. Maybe just a hint of chocolate, but I like it. It's not super pronounced. It doesn't have to be though. It's inviting for sure. So let's get into this. Cheers. So you get, it follows the nose decently, but I like the flavor more than I liked the aroma. It has some nice chocolatey notes to it. It's got more of a pronounced non-chocolatey flavor. So to me, it tastes like the chocolatey flavors that you get from some of the darker grains, not from just straight chocolate that was either put in the boil or secondary, whatever it might be. It's got some nice chocolatey tones. Excuse me. A hint of caramel, a hint of vanilla. It is carved. Swirl that up a little bit. Head comes back easily. You get a touch of sweetness, which I like. I like it. You do get a touch of sweetness. In some of the other ones that I've tried in the competition up to this point, the darker ones that are trying to go for the like silky, you know, richer flavors that you usually get with a stout, once you tone it down to this level, and this one at 4.2%, it's no exception. A lot of times you lose some of the sweetness that you don't want too much of, but kind of really is needed in the styles. This is the better balance to me than any of them I've tried in the past, from that standpoint of having that little bit of sweetness still hanging around. You get a little smoothness, a little silkiness, kind of mid-palate from what I would imagine is the lactose for the milk stout. And that's probably what gives it a little bit of residual sweetness too, at least plays a part in it. But yeah, really well done. The carb may be ever so slightly high for the style. The first initial flavor, the carb kind of dances on your tongue at first, which it's not a huge detractor, but maybe I would have liked ideally for the carb to be just a hint lower. And you know, I was beginning to think that I thought it was a little bit too dry, but I'm not so sure. I'm actually really enjoying this. I definitely would not peg it for 4.2%. I think I would peg it not extremely high, but I think I'd probably put it at like 5.5. Yeah, I guess that's not too much higher than 4.2, but you know what I mean. I'd probably peg it 5.5-ish, because it does have has a pretty nice mouthfeel. I mean, it's still on the lighter side. It's not, you know, it's not chewy that you get with some of the stouts, but, or especially milk stouts, you kind of feel that coating, mouth coating, and it doesn't really have that, but it's a 4.2% version of something that I would imagine is phenomenal. This one is really good. I like the chocolate caramel kind of swirl in there. It's very nice. This is a great beer. I don't know that I'll come back for any final thoughts, but I will be interested to see what happens to this when it warms up a little bit. So I'm going to kind of hang with it, score it as it warms up. I'll be watching a little bit more football and really just taking my time on the scoring for this, especially because it's darker. Make sure we give it plenty of time to warm up. But this is a well done beer. Really well done. The finals of this SJPorr challenge have been a pleasure. I've got 2 more, I believe. Everything's just been, it's been awesome. So cheers to the brewer. 28V-74L-58Z. Gracious. Great submission. Good luck in the competition, and we'll see you around. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers, y'all.